A good start to the week made it this week. It tapered off towards the end, but we got there in the end. Hi everyone, it's Dave here, Anvil Logistics, and it is actually Sunday night. It's the 14th of September, and there's a good reason why we're here Sunday night, because we're going to cover a job that had a delivery in Horsham tomorrow morning, and that's between 8 and 9. And that if I'd have gone tonight to bed, I'd have to get up about 2:30, 3, and then by the time you arrive, done your delivery, you're pretty knackered. So I've elected to do this way because it's a decent paying job. And the hotels on a Sunday night are quite cheap. In fact, I've got this travel lodge, which is about 8 miles from Horsham, for 40 quid. And I like travel lodges, you can't really go wrong with them. They're basic, but they're always clean. You've always got a hot shower. Can always make yourself a nice brew. And you've got a comfy bed. And that's all I want to do. And get a good night's sleep before I set off to do the delivery in the morning. And then that will then leave me clear, once I've done the delivery, to find something coming back up. So that would make it a really good day. Now there is the chance of some return work, not from this area, north of London, but by getting that, it would be a good day. That's not 100% guaranteed. I'm doing this particular job for Freddie Fletcher's. Picked it up yesterday afternoon. And then I went home and I watched the match and then I set off. And it was a good result for City. We beat United in the derby, although it was tinged with some sadness because the news had come out that Ricky Hatton had passed away. And I really like Ricky Hatton. He was a big City fan. And I've met him a couple of times as well. And on the brief occasions that I've met him, I found him to be really nice, very accommodating. He always had time for a chat, very down to earth. So rest in peace, Ricky, and all my best wishes to your family. Anyway, so that's the situation. What we're doing here is come down tonight because it's only 40 quid. We'll get a good night's kit. We'll be refreshed tomorrow, ready to find a backload or potential backload back. Of course, I'll let you know how I get on and how I get on in the rest of the week too. Catch you in a bit.
Tuesday the 16th, and it is 9:45 in the morning, and we're heading down south. So I'll tell you from yesterday, I stayed in the hotel in the morning, got on site to deliver to the comms site for Freddie Fletcher Limited. However, it was a bit beset by problems. One, the site wasn't easy to find. I got there at 8 o'clock, having had a conversation with the site contact who wasn't there yet. He directed me in, but there was a lot of gates stopping me getting in. Obviously ring the shipper, in this case James, explained to him, got to wait. I have no issue with that, and James always pays a fair price for waiting anyway. However, I thought what I'll do is I'll walk down the path and have a look at the site for myself anyway, scope it out. Oh, it was really... There's no way you could have got the van on, put it that way. It was on a field, on the other side of a field. The field was completely overgrown. Overgrown trees at the gate to it. So there was going to be an issue getting unloaded actually directly to the tower. And some of the stuff's heavy, and I don't suppose they would have fancied dumping that over a wet, soggy field that's completely overgrown. I had to wait. In the end, the riggers turned up, but fortunately they knew about this and they had a 4x4 pickup with them. So what we did was we loaded the gear onto the pickup and it did shuttle runs over the field to the site. So all in all, I was clear by 12. No complaints really. I got paid for the waiting, and I got the bonus of being asked to remove all the waste packaging and take that back with me. I rung up James, who confirmed with his customer that that was okay. So it was a winner really, because I got paid to go back. I dropped off the stuff this morning at James's customer's depot in Stockport, and now I'm on my way to High Wycombe. And this is another job for Fletcher's. He posted this job on the chat group for a small van. And ordinarily, because I'm in a large van, I wouldn't do it, but I noticed that it wasn't being cleared. And I thought, what the hell, I did well yesterday out of James's, give me some decent work, I'll do it. So I'm doing this one. Obviously won't pay as well as a long wheelbase, but I don't mind because I get plenty of work off him. He's a good egg, gets it cleared. The only trouble was the traffic was horrendous this morning. M60 was closed, everyone was going everywhere else. But I've met him at the unit. He was delayed getting in too because, again, he copped for the same traffic I did. And I'm going down to High Wycombe with a few boxes to take to a comms site. I should be there before 1 o'clock. And we'll see if we can pick anything else up once I'm down there. It's not easy to get anything down there. You never know. But the first 2 days of this week have been really good anyway, so we're not overly concerned. There might be a nice ADR job coming out for the next morning that will be worth staying over for. I've got the old bug out bag with me, so we'll just take it as it comes, and we'll see how it goes. I'll let you know later on in the week. I haven't got a show us your van at the moment, so it might be a shorter video and less boring for you. Wednesday, the 17th of September, and not a good day today really. I picked up a load yesterday evening to take up to South Wales this morning, so I got up early and travelled through the darkness and the rain and got to South Wales, which was kind of like north of Swansea, but right in the middle of nowhere, and it was to an isolated communications tower, some antennas and some other equipment. I had no problem making the delivery because although it was very remote down tracks, I actually saw the riggers vans parked up and they were just sort of like unloading the gear at the same time, so that was great. I unloaded to them and they were going to take it on a 4-wheel drive across some fields. Now where I was, it was so remote, there was no signal, there was no phone signal or anything, probably because they're fixing the communications tower, but there was no work. And then I really needed another job today because although that is fairly paid job, there wasn't enough in it for a full day's money, if you know what I mean. So I thought, what's the best chance of me picking up work here? There's nothing going to be around here. And I couldn't get any signal to look on the feed anyway. So I had two choices. I can head back driving north and go through the centre of Wales, which is the way I came this morning, which is a bit slow and laborious, lots of 20-mile-an-hour roads, lots of areas where there's no signal. I'll go the longer way around, which would be head up to the M4 and go along the M4. Then I can maybe pick up work for Swansea, Cardiff, Newport, maybe Bristol. And then if nothing there, head up the M5 and you got Gloucester and Cheltenham and then Birmingham. And I've been doing that journey and I've got nothing. I've not managed to secure one quote that I've put in, and I haven't got expensive because obviously I'm looking to get back, but no, nothing. It has been a bit rubbish. So I am now on the M6. I've just joined the M6 from the M5 and it looks like I'm going to be heading home empty. There's just nothing coming out. I just, like, for example, I just put a bid in then from a WS postcode, go into Trafford Park, pick up at 3 o'clock. It's 80 miles. I thought, you know what? It's a long wheelbase job. I'll put £1 a mile on it. No, not a chance. They're looking for like 60 pence. Well, they can shove it because I'm not doing it for 60 pence a mile. So it's probably going to be, I am going to go home and just that one job today. However, it's not all bad news because I am ahead of the curve this week. So at the moment, I'm slightly above track to have an on-target week. If I could have picked up another backload, another 100 quid or something, it would have been even better. So things aren't too bad, but it's just a disappointing day, and you get these days, don't you? And there's not a lot you can do about it. That's the trouble with taking loads to areas where there's just not much work, and then you waste a bit of time getting out of that area to go to somewhere there's work. But the feed was quiet, and what was out there, to be perfectly honest, everybody's running for it. It's not just me out there, and they're all after it, and unfortunately no success. I've got a couple of quotes out for some hazardous work for tomorrow morning. Just move over here. There's an ambulance trying to get through. Let them go past. He's not going to sell much ice cream going that fast, is he? So they might come off. Otherwise, I've got nothing booked in, so we'll see how the rest. We've got 2 days to make up to the target, and you know, I'm still fairly confident I'm going to do it. But it just would have been nice to be well ahead of the curve, even more ahead of the curve today. I'm about £100 over the curve at the moment for 3 days. You can't have it good every day, I know. So that's the situation so far this week.
Thursday, early evening, 18th of September. And we're in another hotel. You're thinking, does that fella ever work? All he ever does is go in hotels. It is rare, hotel stays, let me tell you. But it just so happens, the way it's worked out, this is it. So I left yesterday, not a good day really. I did that job, the communications tower, but unfortunately got nothing back. So the day itself, although it was a fair price of going down, it wasn't a full day's work, but because we'd had such a good start, we're okay. So then that leaves us this morning. This morning I had nothing. I couldn't get a job to save my life. I tried on the way home to bid for work, bid for some hazardous loads, I bid for some non-hazardous loads. I bid for anything. I didn't get a bean. So I went to bed and got up this morning knowing that I was going to have to look. And I actually did wake up reasonably early. So I thought, well, you know, I'll start looking for work. Bidding. Nothing happening. The wife got up. She went to work. The son got up. He went to work. I got niche. So I thought, the trouble is when you're in the house, you get distracted and you're doing other things as well. So what I decided to do, I thought, right, if I'm going to be serious about trying to get a job, I'm going to go out of the house. The van needs some diesel. Let's go and fill it up, and then I'll sit in the van for a bit. So I walked out to the van, put some stuff in the van, and then I tripped up and I fell over. Just went arse over tit and landed in some dirt and mud. Cut my arm. That's not too bad. Cut my leg worse, and also did another injury in quite an unmentionable area. Not cut, fortunately. But the upshot was I had to go back in the house, I had to get changed, I had to wash, and then limp about. And eventually I did get a job. And the job was not an ADR job, it was a long wheelbase van job from Ashton-under-Lyne, which is just not far down the road from me, and it went to Corby. But it's getting on a bit by the time I've loaded that up and I'm setting off. It's like 11:15 by the time I've got loaded. And then get to Corby, it's like 2:30. And time's ticking on. But the upshot, and I'd also had word that I had got a hazardous load for the next day. One that I've done a few times. And Dave, the lad, he says it mind saying his name, from Purple Bee, said, can you help me cover this job? Yes, I'll certainly do it. He pays fair price, it's ADR, decent rate, but it means picking up in Lutterworth, and I'm going to Corby. So I thought, well, it makes more sense, really. If I can't get anything going back home, what's the point in driving home empty and then driving back down again in the morning to Lutterworth? So I thought, what I'll do is I'll stay here. I'm not picking up from Lutterworth till 11ish. Maybe I can find a little job round here for the morning. But I actually found a little job in Corby, and it was a jiffy bag going up towards Northampton, and I got 40 quid for it. So I thought, well, there's a little bonus. And I found a hotel for £46, including breakfast. The Red Wing Hotel in Rutland. And it's a bit like a travel lodge, really. You know, it's a decent enough room. I'll show you. You know, you've got everything on it. Big bed, nice bathroom, kettle, television, all the business. And there's a little pub next door, you know, where you can get a meal and things like that. So I thought, for 46 quid, I've just done that extra job for 40 quid, just moving a jiffy bag. That'll cover that. And then if I can find a little job in the morning before I go and pick up, get another 50 quid there. That'll cover the balance of the hotel and a bit of dinner. So it makes more sense, because otherwise I'll be spending 50 odd quid driving back home to the northwest and then back down again to Lutterworth in the morning if I can't get a job down, because I'm picking up late morning, so the timings would have to be bang on. So that's what I'm doing. I haven't found a job for the morning, but when I wake up, I'll look for one. It doesn't seem all that busy around here, to be honest with you. Got to be perfectly honest. But we'll try and pick something up, and then we'll do that job. That'll get us back up to the northwest mid-afternoon. Maybe find another job after that. If not, no, because the important thing is we will be just slightly over target for the week. So a cracking start to the week. If we didn't have that cracking start, this would not have been an on-target week. But we had a great start, and therefore we've done it. With having such a good start, I was kind of thinking I'll be well over target. I'll smash this to bits. We didn't, but we made the target. That is the upper target that I set. The target where I pay all my expenses and I can put money away as well. Not the lower one where I just simply pay my expenses and a bit of wages. So we've done the target by about another 50 quid. If I can find another 50, 60 pound job tomorrow morning, then obviously it'll up a bit more. So that will do. Not a very exciting week for you viewers. No shows your van. What can you do? Now this job tomorrow does involve another driver, one of whom I think I've already had shows your van of him. But if it's someone I don't know, and if they seem approachable, I might try and get a shows your van off them. But that'll be for another time if I get it. So we're gonna end this video here. Not the most exciting of weeks, I'm sorry. It just gives you an insight really of how I do things. A good start has made the week for me in this particular case, is even accounting for 2 hotel stays, both of which were very cheap, by the way. £46 for this and 40 quid for the other one. If you were talking 70s, 80s, £90, be a different story. It wouldn't have been probably worth it. But because I got it so cheap, that's fine. So I'm going to have a shower now. I've had something to eat. I'm going to have a brew. And then I'm going to watch City play Napoli on my app, on my iPad. Because I've got that TNT Sports at home through Virgin Media. So I can get it on this device here. I'm going to watch that. Fingers crossed that we win. If we don't, not unusual for City at the moment, is it? Thank you for watching. If you get any questions about anything I do, please put it in the comments. Any observations or anything like that, even tips. I listen to tips. Anything you think can make me my life a bit easier, please feel free to put it in. Van's running fine at the moment. Touch wood. All's good. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank Thanks for watching. Take care.